Welcome to Community Connection. I'm your host, Tracy Christensen. In Utah, we're blessed with many wonderful museums that help us to learn about our culture and history. Utah's exciting world of flight is on display at Hill Aerospace Museum. And joining me is Robb Alexander, who will tell us about what we can see and do at the museum. Welcome.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
We're glad to have you. I read that the Hill Aerospace Museum is rated as the #1 thing to do in Utah.
Well, TripAdvisor has the Hill Aerospace Museum as the #1 thing to do in Ogden, Weber County area.
Wow, that's pretty great.
That's exciting. As we try to get patrons, we love to have people come and learn about flight and the history of flight, not only in the Air Force, but in the state of Utah. And it's very cool to have that recognition and being rated as the #1. It's always good to be #1.
#1 anything.
That's right.
What do you think people don't know about Utah and flight?
Well, so many different things. Not only is the Hill Aerospace Museum home to a collection of nearly 100 aircraft that have been used by the Air Force and some other areas of flight. It houses the Utah Aviation Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So many Utah aviators, whether they be military or local, they have Utah ties, and they're honored at the Utah Aviation Hall of Fame, which is housed at the museum. So it honors flight in the Air Force and in the state, and many pioneers. We have a couple that's in the Aviation Hall of Fame, for example, that is not military, but they were the first Piper Cub dealers, or Piper aircraft dealers in the state of Utah. So there have been a lot of contributions in the area of flight throughout the world by citizens of Utah and people that have lived here.
And you mentioned that there are close to 100 aircraft on display. Is there one that's like really popular or a favorite for you?
You know, I do have a number of favorite airplanes. My uncle, Spence Felt, was a co-pilot in a B-24 aircraft during World War II, was shot down over Poland, survived, and has a great story. We have a B-24, we have a B-17. There's one aircraft that kind of stands out. It's an SR-71, which is a jet, and it was built in the early 60s, and it still has the speed record for the fastest aircraft flight from New York to London ever, and it has a record for the highest flight of a fixed-wing aircraft ever. And this particular aircraft is the record holder, and so a lot of people come to see the SR-71 that's housed at the Hill Aerospace Museum.
Interesting. And you have an aerospace center for education there as well.
We do, and we're very proud of that. We just reconstructed one funded by private donations. It's the General Mark C. Reynolds Aerospace Center for Education, named after Mark Reynolds, who was the chair of our foundation for a number of years and was instrumental in really how the museum looks today. But the facility was reconstructed and built, finished in early 2016, and we have 4 classrooms. We're about to add a 5th classroom, which is a C-130 aircraft that's going to be retrofitted and brought alongside the building, and we'll walk into it through a glass walkway, and it'll be and the kids and the people will have an opportunity to actually be inside the aircraft and touch the buttons and do all the stuff, and we can use that as a classroom as well. So we teach STEM education. We have a great educator by the name of Mark Standing, who is the director of that facility, and he's done some marvelous things in teaching kids the basics about STEM education and flight and those sorts of things. It's very cool. And
one of the great things is that the museum costs to get in.
It's very expensive, very expensive. It is free admission to the Hill Aerospace Museum. The museum is open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And we have people from all over the country and all over the world that visit the Hill Aerospace Museum during the year.
It's a treasure. And Rob, remind us of the website.
The website is aerospaceutah.org. All one word. It's the world's longest website address, but it is, and there's some very cool things and informative things also on our website.
Great. Thank you so much for being here.
Nice to be here. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Museums are a great way to increase our knowledge and gain appreciation for the world around us. If you'd like to learn more about the Hill Aerospace Museum and other places of learning in our state, we invite you to our website at KBYU11.org. Thank you, and please join us again on Community Connection.